Hi Ladybirds, it's time for our Jigsaw time. And today Jigsaw Genie is joining us and he's going to help us think a little bit about reflecting first on our dreams and goals that we've been working towards. Now, I used a really important word there which was called reflect. Now, reflect is something that we've started doing this half term where we've been thinking a little bit more deeply about how things are going and how we might get a little bit better at how things are going. So I would like you to reflect on your dream, your goal that you've been trying to do so far, and just talk a little bit about it at home with your grown up. How do you think you're getting on with it? Well done, Ladybirds, for reflecting on your dream. Now, Jigsaw Genie today is thinking a little bit about his dreams and goals, and I've been thinking about mine. And one of the things you might notice is that sometimes, a little bit like that roller coaster that I told you about at the start, sometimes our dreams and goals are going really, really well. Sometimes things are quite hard, things are quite difficult, and you might come across a bit of an obstacle. You might come across something which is stopping you from achieving your dreams or goals, something that's just getting in the way, something that can be a little bit tricky. And that's what Jigsaw Genie is going to help us learn a little bit about today. It's about that word obstacle. So it's almost a little bit like a runner. It's a good example for an obstacle. So if Jigsaw Genie was being a runner, and maybe he was running along a path, and he was running, and then he comes across an obstacle. He comes across something that stopped him from running, and he has to pause a moment and think about how's he going to get past. That's a little bit like what an obstacle is. And Jigsaw Genie today is going to get you to have a little think about how you could overcome those obstacles. Now, one of the things that you're going to really, really need is something called a really positive attitude. So, being really, really positive. Now, if you're being positive, it means that you're trying, a bit like Mr. Bump, you're trying, and trying again. You're not giving up. You're being a little bit like Little Miss Curious because you're thinking, really interested in that, and I'd like to know a little bit more about it. And that is what it is like, having that sort of positive attitude to trying your best. And even if something is going to be a bit tricky, we're going to carry on trying and doing really, really well. And it's something that towards our celebration assembly at the end of the week on Friday, it's something that we could all maybe celebrate. Maybe your theme this week, that when you bring something towards that assembly to share, is you can think of a way you've been really, really positive in your learning. Now, Jigsaw Genie's got a little story for you to listen to now. Now, the story today has got two bears that you've not met before. Okay, so I'm going to show you them first. Can you see them a little bit? I've got two bears today. Now, these two bears are both pretending that they are at their own bear school, because of course they do go to bear school. Now, we have got, going to our bear school today, we have got Purple Berry is his name, Purple Berry, and then Taffy Berry. Okay, so we can call them Purple Berry and Taffy Berry. Maybe you can say hello to them now. Look, and they'll have a go at saying hello to you. Now, see if you can listen to Jigsaw Genie's story about these bears. Now, one day, Taffy Berry was at school and he was thinking about something he'd like to have a go at building, because he loves building. And Taffy Berry thought, wonder what I could build with. And he went off to see what he could find. And off he came with some cups. And he thought, I know, I might be able to build my own special superhero base with these cups. So he started thinking about how he could do it. Thought, what could I do with the cups? Could I maybe put them this way? How could I make my base? Maybe could I put them this way round? That falls over a little bit. That's a bit tricky. Maybe I could put them this way. Not too sure. And he started thinking about what he could do when Purpleberry came along. And when he came along, he wanted to see what was going on. He thought, oh, this looks interesting. Maybe I'll come and watch. So he came to the side to see if he could see what Taffyberry was doing. Now Taffy thought, oh, for my base, what I might do, and he got his idea. He said, I might start putting my cups like this, but I might start stacking them and going on top of each other and make it really, really tall. And he was trying to balance them, but sometimes when you've got big bear paws, they can fall over. Purpleberry was saying things while he was watching. Well, that's really rubbish. That wasn't very good. That just fell over. I don't think that's a really good castle. In fact, look, it's not very strong, is it? It's going all over the place. Oh, how, ladybirds, do you think? How do you think Taffyberry was feeling? He'd been trying to build up this special superhero base, and then Purpleberry came over, didn't he? And he started knocking it over, and he started calling it rubbish. How do you think? See if you can pause and just think for a moment. How might he be feeling? Well done, ladybirds, for thinking about that. Now, let's have a little look back at our story before we reflect a little bit more on that. I'll keep trying. Taffyberry carried on going. He started putting the cups along. He was starting to have some obstacles because one of them was that they just weren't quite balancing in the way he wanted. Another one is that he couldn't quite get them out. He kept on trying. Yours looks rubbish. I really don't like it at all. Look at it. It doesn't even look like a superhero base. I thought you were meant to be good at building. I don't think you're very good at building. In fact, I don't think you're really very good at these cups at all. I don't think you can do them very well. I don't think you'll ever be able to do these very well. Oh dear. Ladybirds, what's happened? What's happened here to Taffyberry? How's he feeling? I asked you to reflect before, didn't I, on how those words might be making him feel. I wonder, ladybirds, have you ever heard anyone maybe say something to you that you thought was maybe a little unkind? Can you think of a time? Maybe you can think about how that made you feel. Was it a good feeling? Was it a feeling that you liked? Did it make you feel happy? I don't think at the moment. I don't think Taffyberry is feeling too happy. I wonder, what about our Purpleberry? How do you think Purpleberry is feeling? Do you think he's feeling happy because he said those words? What do you think? Maybe pause and have a little talk about that now. Okay, ladybirds, well done for pausing there. And really, I need to remember to call it because we do our pause for thoughts, a little bit like my cats when they have their paws. We do our pause for thought. Now, I wonder when we were thinking about those things there about our bears, did you think that they were nice things that were happening? No, I don't think they were nice, were they? And both our bears at the moment aren't feeling very happy because one of my bears is thinking, feeling a little bit downhearted that maybe he can't build this tower anymore. Whereas my other one is getting a little bit worried that actually maybe he's upset someone and maybe he's going to struggle to be friends with him if he's going to be like that. Now, everyone sometimes might make someone feel a little unhappy, but what could we do to try and make someone feel happy? What types of things could we do to change it so that people feel really happy instead? Can you have a think about that? See if you can do your pause for thought. Think, how could we make our two bears feel happy again. Well done, ladybirds. Now, I think what we need to do is we need to try and spread that positive thoughts around, because that's what Jigsaw Genie, when he was starting to think about our story today, what our story would be like, that's what he wanted us to do. He told us that to get our dreams and goals, we really, really needed to have that really positive attitude. Now, did our bears have that positive attitude today? Well, Taffyberry was trying to have a positive attitude, because even when he heard those unkind words, he carried on building, didn't he? And he carried on trying. Now, unfortunately, Purpleberry, he wasn't really having those very kind, positive thoughts, was he? Because instead, a lot of the things he was saying was quite negative. He was saying things that weren't very, very kind. Now, what we need to maybe do is, when you're coming across something which is a little bit difficult, is thinking about maybe spreading that positivity in your house, spreading that positivity and thinking, how can you maybe give a compliment? How could you say something that would be really, really lovely to give some encouragement to someone? Now, I want you to see if you can have a go at doing that. When you're trying to do your learning time, see if you can try to give out as many positive messages as you can. See if you can pause now and think about it at home. What compliments, what positive things could you say to other people in your house or to each other? Or what things could you do to keep yourselves going? Well done, ladybirds. I hope you've been doing some really good talking today. Now, really, this is a little bit like what we've had at school before. Do you remember when the elves came? Do you remember we had the kindness lights? And when the elves were there in our school, they were looking to see whether there was enough kindness in the room, enough love in the room, that the lights would magically glow and come on. Now, I wonder, in your house, maybe you could have a little kindness jar. Maybe you could, during the week, put some things into your jar when you've got lots and lots of amazing kindness. See if you can collect it up and see how full your jar can be. How much kindness can everybody contribute? It could be you, our wonderful ladybirds, but it could be your grown-ups too. They could be writing in the kindness and the compliments that they're showing, and they could put it in the jar. And you could put your ones in too and see how much you can collect. Okay. Now, I hope you have a really good time doing that, ladybirds, and that your jar will come in really helpful this week as you're celebrating those positive things that you are doing. And I would love to hear about them when we do our celebration assembly. I would love to hear how you get on with them. Right, ladybirds, I think Jigsaw Genie is going to be off to have a little chat with our berries, our berry family, to see if he can help them. Meanwhile, you can have a go at doing your choosing time now. See you later, ladybirds. Bye.